Hello there, Mad Mike here, and welcome back to the channel. And today we're going to be looking at kind of an interesting news story that popped up late yesterday, and that is that apparently Warner Brothers is going to be implementing some sort of AI system that will help them decide which movies to make in the future. Um, Now, just for some clarification, this company that they are partnering with is called Synalytics or Synalytic, and basically they've made an AI that an artificial intelligence uh, computer program to break down stuff, various factors involving making a film to decide whether or not this film will be a success, and the viability of the actor. They take into account like the viability of the actors, how much in demand are they, the talent behind the film, all this and that. And basically, it's supposed to be a tool, a numbers tool, to help people, to help studios, specifically Warner Brothers, to greenlight their next series of films. Now, here's the thing: is that they do state that this is not going to be any kind of final decision making for creative decisions, that there's going to be other things that are going to go into this, but this is kind of the start of what I would consider to be a growing problem in Hollywood. Now, more or less, the whole thing is that it depends on to what state they actually use this artificial intelligence, or how heavily they value its the numbers and the decisions that it is putting out. And if they don't value them very highly, if the executives still do what they do and everything like that, then I don't think you're going to see too much of a problem. But if they start leaning on these numbers, this to put it frankly, in terms of film, the safe film is not always the film to do. Now, in terms of a financial background, yeah, you could do a film that has look at the movie Congo. That movie had amazing talent behind it. It was from the people that did Jurassic Park, or the writer of Jurassic Park, Michael Crichton. There was a lot of stuff that was just kind of going on in it. There was a lot of, you had a decent kind of core group of actors. You had Tim Curry, Ernie Hudson, Bruce Campbell, even though he's only in the movie for like 10 minutes. Um, and you had a lot of, talent behind the camera, and you had Sam Winston doing the special effects. That movie should have been a smash hit. It came out in 1995, I want to say. I know we did it for Rated R Risk, but it was supposed to be before the sequel to Jurassic Park. It was kind of this is kind of the follow-up to Jurassic Park, because it was another book by the same author. And the film bombed horribly. The special effects were god-awful. The acting was terrible. The special effects were, I already said the special effects were bad. At least for the monkeys, or the gorillas. But, the acting was not good. The directing was not great. The story was not very good. It was a movie that all intents and purposes showed that it should have succeeded, and it didn't. And that's the thing that a computer can't predict, and I think that's why you should leave these type of decisions almost specifically up to people, because that's the other thing too, is that the idea that Hollywood is kind of supposed to give the audience maybe something that they didn't know they loved yet. It's kind of one of those ideas where it's kind of the idea of, hey, this type of genre is getting really popular, and then this huge film comes out in that genre and just changes the whole landscape. But, there have been other films that have kind of, jump-started certain things. Look at, As the Western. I've given this as an example before, but as the Western was dying out in the mid to late 70s, you had films like Star Wars and the Star Trek films later on and stuff like that. But Star Wars was really kind of the catalyst for that wave of science fiction that came out not long after that. Even though a lot of it was very different from Star Wars was really the one that was there first. Even though, again, Star Trek was a television series before that and stuff like that. But just in terms of film, audiences didn't know they wanted Star Wars until they got Star Wars. When you look at other stuff, you look at the fact that George Lucas screened the damn thing, and every single person said that he was nuts for making the film. They all said it was going to suck, then that it was going to lose a ton of money, it was going to be a disgrace to his career, and ultimately he makes the film, and it basically becomes the biggest franchise of all time. So there's really, there's a lot of unknowns when it comes to making a film. Yes, you do need talent behind the film, but not all talent is known. Talent has to start somewhere. You know, people didn't know who great special effects artists were, and great directors, and great actors, and you know, all that kind of stuff. Nobody knew who those people were before they just kind of came along. A lot of them, there wasn't a bunch of red flags going forward. But like, hey, that guy's going to be a really good actor. No, it just kind of it digests over time. And it's kind of insane to kind of boil it down to that, because then you're kind of muscling out some of the smaller people too. You know, those kind of actors that are trying to break in. You know, if Brad Pitt gets hired for, you know, 5-6 movies a year, then where's that other guy supposed to go? You know, it's kind of the idea of that too, where you're almost, again, depending on how, you know, how much they go into it, but you know, you could be cracking down on new talent, and that's the problem. That's kind of it. I don't want to say gatekeeping, but I feel like it would be unintentional gatekeeping, based on the way this computer seems to calculate things, or at least how this is explained. Because you know, the validity of the movie, whether or not that film gets greenlit, is based entirely on, you know, this what they believe to basically be the talent behind the film, combined with the ability for it to financially succeed and a bunch of other stuff. But it's the film industry and entertainment in general is so unpredictable, in the way that it's going to hit audiences in a lot of cases, that I don't think you can have this. And I think this is also going to be a problem, because it's going to have an issue with, you know, bringing new films into fruition. Not just, you know, bringing in new talent and stuff like that, but actually newer films being made, or original films. Like I said, you know, the audience doesn't know what they want until they want it. But you know, you have these people that are going to come, you know, they're going to come in and they're going to give you a script, and hey, they might say it's shit, but maybe there's one executive that wants to make it, but oh, sorry, the robot said you can't do it. You know, it's one of those situations where I feel like this is a hindrance to the creative process to kind of distill it in this way. Now, look, and I understand the point of view behind it, you know, making this so that you make more successful films and make more money. It is a business. Again, I understand that aspect of it. But as far as the creative side goes, I feel like this is, again, something that's drifting in the wrong direction, and I kind of hope Warner Brothers winds up dropping this in the next few years after they see how ridiculous it is. And I hope that other studios do not start picking this up, because, again, this could make worse. Actually, for all I know, Disney already has one. But you know, that's just kind of my opinion on this, but I want to know what your opinion is. Do you think robots should be deciding, what movies get made and what don't get made? Because again, I find it kind of ridiculous. Um, or do you think that this is kind of, you know, this is going to kind of streamline the system? This is a better way to go about it. We're going to get more good movies because of this. But leave your thoughts in the comments below. Again, I'd like to know what you're thinking. Hit the bell for notifications. Hit the like button. Subscribe, and remember, I live my life free of compromise. Do you?